Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Biz Apps Buzz podcast. This is our second one. So excited to be here with you all. I'm your host, Amy Keenan, founder of the ISV Society, working with MS Dynamics World to bring you the latest news and announcements from leaders in the Microsoft Business Applications channel. We are broadcasting live, and you'll also find all of our episodes on the Biz Apps Buzz on demand, so check them out there. But today, we have Doug Bertram from Metafile, who will be sharing some AP buzzworthy information. Welcome, Doug, to the Biz Apps Buzz.
Hey, thanks, Amy. Great to be here.
Yeah, so excited to chat with you today about AP automation and AI and strategies for success with AP and automation. So before we dive in, feel free to share a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. I think I've been in the community for a long, long time, and Metafile, we've been around for about 40 years or so, doing document management for companies, and very tightly integrated with Microsoft and the whole Dynamics platform, and all the different conferences and everything else that we see everybody repeatedly. I've been here for about 17, 18 years, and our product is always changing, and AI is one of the things that that we're leveraging is all we can. So
yes, and I feel like AI is constantly changing and evolving, so it's good to keep up with it. It's good to have it, and you see nowadays you're seeing it everywhere, and so it's an interesting how it kind of evolved over the last 2 years. It kind of exploded.
Yeah, it did, right? So yeah, we've been putting it in our product we've kind of been working it in probably the last 5 years, I would guess. I lose track of time, so it could be longer than that. Who knows?
So, all right, so let's dive in. So I understand MetaView has recently enhanced their AI integration, like you mentioned, for your AP automation solution. Can you tell me and the audience a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So there's really kind of three main areas that we kind of probably, like I said, about 5 years ago, we kind of started figuring out, learning about AI and what it is and how do we leverage it, and making the product smarter and better and faster. So there's really three main areas that we kind of focus on, and probably one of the biggest ones, and probably the one that most people notice, is on the capture and extraction of documents, right? So Metafile watches email boxes. Since post-COVID, a lot of people are emailing invoices in now, so that really helps from a digital perspective and getting rid of the paper kind of aspect. But once the system pulls the invoices in, we're feeding them to an AI extraction engine, and that engine intelligently reads and extracts the information out of the document. So we use the data to index what the document's all about, but that's really the tip of the iceberg. So now that we've got that data, the AI reads those invoices, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, when we were implementing it and we were kind of designing it, we're putting it through its paces. We're sending millions of different documents through it, and it's remarkable. And how exactly it does it, I guess that's probably a little bit above me. It just learns and gets smarter. And the funny thing is so I was throwing things like handwritten stuff at it, and it would still find. I purposely write things crooked, like PO pound, and then I'd write a number or something, and I'd write it crooked to see if I could trick it, and it would find it. It would,
wow.
Just my handwriting is not super great, but
you need a couple of doctors' prescriptions and see.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That'd be really the test. Get some medical invoices or prescriptions or something. Maybe there's some HIPAA rules about and prescriptions. But anyways, it is pretty remarkable. And the funny thing is I actually for demo purposes, right? I kind of make some invoices that we can throw in there, and we're trying to find places where it would fail, so I could kind of show when it fails, then what do you do? And one of the early things that it would fail on is, like, let's say it's looking for tax and off of an invoice, right? It was looking for things like like tax or sales tax or things like that, and then finding the value next to it. That's what the AI engine would do. So one of the things where it would struggle is, like, if where the tax item was, it was maybe like the city and state, like Chicago, Illinois, or something like that. And then right next to that was the value for tax. Well, a human would look at that, and they're just used to looking at invoices and say, oh yeah, that's the tax amount, and that's where they would get it, because the amount looked about right and everything else. So I purposely made some invoices that were that way. I used like Chicago, Illinois, and I put this little tax thing in there. So when I first had them in, it worked. It failed, which is what I was hoping it would do. And then you could fix it, and then I could do my demos to fix it. Well, probably about a month or so down the road, I'm doing another demo, and it got it. I'm like, well, wait a minute, wait a minute. That whole messed up my whole thing. It was supposed to fail on that. But that's where the AI technology is really amazing. And I said it's beyond me as to how it does it, but it is actually learning. And nothing that I'm doing is just it's processing millions and millions of documents on a daily basis, and it's analyzing it and knowing where it fails and getting smarter. So I think that's probably one of my biggest challenges as I demo is to try and trick it, trying to figure out how I can make it fail. But it's pretty remarkable.
You could do like a contest with your customers. How can they trick it? Who can
trick me? Make me fail, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it really that really has helped a lot, right? It really takes a lot of that data extraction out. And then really kind of where we kind of started there, right? That's really kind of where the AI is, really going to benefit to get rid of that mundane, data entry type of stuff. But then once we've got that data, we kind of decided we're going to start using this AI to process the invoices, right? So maybe if we can do things so the people don't have to, that's all the better. And probably the most natural area was matching it to a purchase order. Like in the dynamic system. So that's really kind of the second area that we started interjecting AI a few years ago. And, to begin with, it was really, we pull the PO number off. We know who the company is. We know who the vendor is. So we communicate with the data that's in your dynamic system to say, okay, do several checks and balances. Is this a open PO? Is it valid? And things like that. And so interjecting that AI, it kind of learns how you're doing things and tries to look and doing some of the two-way and the three-way matching. And we're constantly trying to improve that as well to try and have it analyze things. And we see that the bar moving up, things that when invoices come in that are related to a purchase order, it finds that detail automatically. And then nobody has to touch it. So that's really kind of the key, right? That all of a sudden we pull it in, we do all this magical processing with the AI, and then the transactions show up in your dynamic system, and now they're just ready to be posted for payment, and the user doesn't really have to do anything. So I think that's probably the second area where things are improving. AI, probably the third area, which is probably a little bit new. We still got some more work to do there to try and teach program the AI to analyze invoices that aren't related to a purchase order, right? They're really, the hard part with those are there's really nothing to match it to, or nothing to compare it to in your dynamic system. So where we're trying to leverage that AI is to learn your trends. Like when you pull an invoice in, you have to code it up, right? This was office expense, and this is the account code that I need to track, this invoice against that. But it's not always office expense, right? Sometimes, for this vendor, it's this, or for a lot of different reasons. So that's where we can leverage. We're starting to leverage that AI to analyze how things were coded the last time when, with the parameters of the document, what was the invoice for, who the vendor is, what company it belongs to, those types of things, and trying guessing, I guess, to begin with, to try and guess and make sure that it can get coded up correctly. And, trying to save the user's keystrokes of trying to manually code those things up. And so I think that's really the third area where we're trying to leverage it. Certainly there's lots of other places we probably can be using it. So we're constantly always trying to look at that and find those different areas to leverage AI.
Yeah, it must be exciting to kind of figure out where you want to use it and leverage it in your solution, making things better, making things easier, and getting rid of, like you said, those mundane tasks that nobody wants to do, like keystrokes and entry. Like nobody wants to do that anymore.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So it's nice to have AI take over that piece. Then you don't have to worry at all.
Like I said, it's a very puzzling thing. I mean, like I said, you're seeing it creep up and everywhere. I think we were chatting before we started here, and I was going to get some irons the other day, and some golf iron, a set of golf irons, and they're using AI technology to design those too. So it's amazing, and what it's doing to change our world. And I've seen a lot of improvements in our product over the 18 years I'm here, and it's kind of like almost really the AI is really a game changer and really kind of making the product better. Listening to customers too. Customers actually are probably our best source of finding ways to leverage AI. We do hundreds of implementations, and the customers say, this is how we would, this is how we're doing things in our business, and so maybe we can help you utilize that AI to do some of those other things as well.
That's great. Okay, how does this impact AP departments? I know you kind of touched upon the touchless part, which makes it easy, keystroke entry, mundane tasks, but overall, there's obviously a much bigger impact that it has.
Yeah, right. I mean, obviously saving time, right? Time is money, and if you can save time, but then now what do you do with this extra time, right? So some people are like, well, is this gonna put me out of a job, right? The whole in science fiction, right? AI is taking over the world, or it's that's some of those scary things that people think about when they think about AI. And really, we're not. We've been doing efficiencies for companies for years, even predating AI, but it definitely helps. And we're not really seeing, people aren't downsizing because, the technology is doing things that people are doing. You still need people to make intelligent decisions. And where we really see the biggest impact to AP is it allows you to use your people more wisely, right? I mean, who wants to hire somebody to just sit there and, type all day long, right? I mean, you want to use their brain. You want to use the brain that the people have. So we're really seeing a lot of companies. When you put a system like this in leveraging AI and giving you those efficiencies, it does allow you to grow without having to add additional folks or overburdening people or asking people to work longer hours to keep up with growing volumes. But I think that the other big thing is it gives your people time to do more analytics, right? I mean, our system does track a lot of data, and the AI, helps us capture some more of that data and analyze some of those analytics. And now you can use those people to analyze that, maybe better vendor spend or better contracts or relationships with vendors or things like that. Lots of areas you can leverage your people to help your business be more profitable and do that. So that's kind of where we see a lot of the AI taking those people. And I think overall, people, their job satisfaction goes up, right? I mean, personally, maybe not everybody, but personally, the things that are mundane, those bore me, right? And I get kind of bored pretty quick. But if I can challenge my brain and pull in some, have some reports that are generated for me and analyze that data and give the CFO some better analytics of what we could do better in our company. I think those are really the key things that, and again, AI is a big part of giving people more time to do that.
Yes. And they can leverage AI for other things in other areas. They can, figure out where their value add is, figure out where the gaps are. Like they can do, like you said, more analyzing of even their job and their job function and the area that they focus on in the business too. So they can figure out hey, if we can streamline AP automation, let's think about streamlining something else or focusing on something else, and like analyzing vendors, analyzing POs, analyzing payments, analyzing money. Obviously, they all need to analyze that. So it definitely gives them, and I know for me, from my perspective, I definitely don't want to come in and do all those mundane tasks. So I would so much rather do something else within the business that makes sense to help grow it versus that, because that's not really growing the business, I would say. It's just like something you have to do. But if you can have a solution do it for you, it just makes it that much easier.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Like I said, I think it's exciting. I think there's so much room for growth. I mean, we're kind of really just getting started. I mean, AI hasn't been out that long, and you're just seeing it really improve everybody's day-to-day life.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see how AI helps you guys over the next few years as well in different areas of the solution. So excited to hear about that in the future. So thank you.
Yeah. No, we're looking forward to it, and I'll come back for another Biz App someday, Biz App Buzz someday, and kind of give you an update of where we're at with that and any other things that we learn and where we go with it.
Sounds good. And obviously, if they want to reach out to you to learn more or get some more information, how can they reach out to you guys?
Yeah, kind of trying to see it in action and how it, and listening to customers. That's what I do on a daily basis, right? I kind of listen to customers, or where are their problem points, and whether our solution can immediately address that, or maybe with a little bit of creativity we can incorporate some AI specifically for a customer. So probably the best way to reach out to us, info@metafile.com is our email address. Kind of shoot us an email. And then just kind of maybe put a little blurb in there of what what you would want to you want some help with, and it'll get directed to myself or somebody else in the organization, and we'll see where it goes. I'm kind of a problem solving is kind of really what I like to do, and working with customers. They can shoot us an email, or they can visit our website too, www.metaviewer.com as well. But really, probably the best way to get started, just shoot a quick email to us, and then we'll help in any way we can.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the Biz Apps Buzz, Doug. So excited to chat with you today. And thank you for everyone who is tuning in live. Again, there will be a recording that you can review later. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Amy. Always a pleasure.